All right, guys, extra content day.
Extra content day. So this one is a little special. So there's this guy, Nerdwriter. He is a YouTuber that is incredible. Makes really, really cool videos delving into topics from art to music to literature, tons of stuff. Found him a while back, and I recently saw he had a one for Fleetwood Mac and one for Steely Dan. I think we'll hit the Steely Dan one another day if this one does well. Mm-hmm. But interested to see, it's called How Fleetwood Mac Makes a Song. Mm-hmm. And just considering how much Fleetwood Mac we've hit and how much we've loved their and mentioned their songwriting process, I'm just really interested in general.
So, like, what are his videos like? Like, how does he approach them? Like,
usually, and I guess we'll see it in this because I haven't seen this context, but usually he breaks down a topic and he'll kind of go through a storyline of something, but they're pretty concise. So this is like
less than, it's like 6 minutes long.
So yeah, I'm just excited to see it. I really don't have any preconceptions of it. I just know his content overall is really, really high level production, great voice, great writing in general. So yeah, I just kind of want to watch it with you and see what you guys think of it too.
Great vocals. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's hard to believe that 40 years ago, Fleetwood Mac released its masterpiece, Rumours, because the record still sounds as beautiful and pristine and new as it did in 1977. It's a timeless album as far as I'm concerned, a work of art that lasts. And that's really the goal, isn't it, for anyone in the creative arts, to make something that feels alive months and years and decades after its creation.
Now there you go, can you say?
Also could not agree more. Like, that album specifically is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Because we hit the full album, and from start to finish, super crisp, clean, like, all of it.
Cohesive.
Yep.
Yeah, so just great. Just, again, really, really cool.
You want your free.
So what makes Rumours so good? Well, there are, of course, a lot of reasons. The skills of the individual band members, the songwriting craft, the producers and engineers, and the virtually unlimited budget and time that Fleetwood Mac got from Warner Brothers following the release of their self-titled album, which was burning up the radio. That money and time means a lot to a band like Fleetwood Mac, who, like the Beatles or Kanye West or Frank Ocean, shines brightest in the studio, where they can exercise minute control over every part of a song. Each track is like a sonic painting, as co-producer of Rumours Ken Calais once described it. And if you're wondering what he means by that, just take a listen to the difference between the demo of Stevie Nicks' classic song Dreams, which you're hearing right now, and the final product.
Thunder only happens when it's raining.
That is crazy.
How we had that demo playing the whole time, too?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, and I was wondering what song it was. I was like, is this just like an underground, like a take like from back in, like something tucked in the mix that we just didn't hear?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of when we did Rhiannon live, and we felt very similar. We were like, this really shined in the studio, and there were some aspects that we loved a lot more. But I think both this now and Rhiannon kind of show the same thing, that they really do have a certain magical quality in precision in the studio.
100%.
That's so cool.
This is how it worked with Fleetwood Mac. In this case, Stevie Nicks wrote a beautiful piano melody and lyrics, and the band, in particular Lindsey Buckingham, spent the better part of a year adding and experimenting to create a rich, full-bodied sonic experience. At its core, Dreams is a pretty simple song that consists of only two chords, F and G, played over and over and over again. Nicks presented the song to the band on a Fender Rhodes piano. Buckingham added an acoustic guitar, and Christine McVie played a Hammond B3 organ. Then Mick Fleetwood added drums, and John McVie added bass guitar, a very hypnotic rhythm section. The bass just alternates between F and G with some variations, and the standout part of the drums are these tapping hi-hats, which run over everything throughout the whole song. That's the track Fleetwood Mac laid down at the recording session in Sausalito.
I don't know if it's a tapping. It's more of like the opening of the hi-hat to me. Like that subtle opening. But yeah, it's...
I think even just the tapping, too, is super hypnotic.
Oh, yeah, I can agree with that. It just... to me, the uniqueness of it was the way he was hitting it, not just the tapping itself.
Yeah.
But really, yeah, I agree.
But the song was far from complete. For example, Buckingham and the producers weren't convinced that the drums were hypnotic enough, so they created a loop of 8 bars, loop of 8 bars, loop of 8 bars. Easier said than done on analog tape.
Dang.
Calais also added a phaser to the hi-hat so that they would have a swishy feel, stick out more. Later, Buckingham recorded an electric guitar part, adding those soupy licks that float through the verse. Then tighten up in the pre-chorus.
That's
And
so
eventually
interesting.
give way to an acoustic guitar in the chorus itself. Having build-up and release and change across the sections of a pop song are what make it compelling to the listener. Buckingham is a genius at filling in these kinds of colors, and ideas usually spur on more ideas. Calais describes in his book on Rumors that when Nix heard the new parts of the song, she had her own idea for background vocals in the pre-chorus. She worked out the parts with Christine McVie.
These are my favorite. The way she like says them back, but kind of at the wrong time.
Yeah.
The call and response is so cool. So cool.
The sad and dreamlike song and even more ghostly feel. Here, take a listen.
I love that part.
The song, of course, is about Lindsey Buckingham, and it literally feels like it's haunting him. Stevie Nicks wrote it shortly after their breakup, and as she says in the lyrics, she couldn't go on because Lindsey wanted his freedom. Well, now in loneliness, he has to dwell on what he had.
Dang, I got
and what
goosebumps.
he lost.
Yep, same.
It's a cruel twist of fate that the song became such a hit that Buckingham had to spend the next 40 years singing it in concert. Anyway, at this point, the song was almost done. Nicks, Buckingham, and McVie created a tight 3-part vocal harmony for the chorus.
When the rain washes you clean, you'll know.
And then they brightened up the pre-choruses with a vibraphone, and the second chorus with a conga drum. Those are both touches that you can barely hear and certainly don't think about much when you listen, but your brain registers the accents. When Calais mixed the song, he was careful to put every instrument in its right place and have a wide range of sounds from bass to mid-range to treble. In the case of Dreams, Calais pushed many of the instruments down to give them a little more bass so that the hi-hat I talked about earlier would stand out, as well as Nick's incredible lead vocal.
That's crazy. It's crazy how much mixing goes involved into something like that.
Yeah.
To make things stay out of the way. It's not just like putting things in. It's like a great job of letting no toes be stepped on.
And crazy how, like, at the same time, all that is in, like, one listen. It's hard. It's crazy to imagine somebody being able to, like, specifically think about it almost in, like, 3D.
Yeah.
And being able to move things around when it's really just kind of, like, one sound kind of coming at you. Well, I guess in stereo kind of two mixes, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
but
in
it's
general.
like, yeah, thinking
It's
about
crazy.
how to make something subtle or something that, you know, come out in the mix but not overpowering. And he's right. Listen to how the hi-hats and the vocals stand out, and it just floats over the top of the track.
Mm-hmm.
Also in the high end is Buckingham's whining guitar, a muddled, longing response to the sharp poetry of the lyrics. On Rumors, Fleetwood Mac made perfect pop music. It didn't reinvent the wheel. It dipped the wheel in liquid gold. These are concise, gorgeous songs dressed up with multicolored sounds, but built on foundations of real emotion and real heartbreak. I think it's pretty safe to say that 40 years from now, we'll still be listening to Fleetwood Mac. As John Keats once wrote, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever."
Dang.
He did a great job at that.
Yeah, I've seen his art stuff, and he's really, really like a great writer in general. So, for one, shout out to Nerdwriter. One, if you like that sort of stuff, like that sort of like critique of music, art, poetry, anything like that, go check him out. I mean, he's a super big channel, but man, does great work. In general, though, I couldn't agree more with everything that he was saying, and in the song in general, like leveling some of those things as far as the vocal harmonies and the vibraphones and all these things that I wasn't even aware of.
Yep. Crazy how they take it from the demo or even just like what Stevie pulled up with, just like F and G chord, you know, and just her vocal melodies and stuff, and bringing that, and you know how Lindsey adds and just builds the whole song out of it with the whole production team. Like crazy how you go from that to that.
I'd be interested to look. Maybe we should do some videos on that in the future, looking at demo versions of songs and then how they became the real song.
Yeah.
Because it's the process of it is so intricate, and I almost feel like when you make a demo for a song, and a lot of bands do it, where that's all you know of it, and it's super easy to get attached. That's your baby.
You think that's like it. That's the finished product. You don't want too much change. But it's like...
And the best songs usually have quite a deal changed. Like, they sounded pretty drastically different.
Yeah.
And
the main idea is there, but like everything around it is completely like enshrouded and redone.
And the first one felt so moody and way more sad, whereas the other one feels uplifting.
Yeah, and it feels more almost like you're on the right side of the situation.
Yeah.
Like she feels content with where she comes out in the end.
That's crazy. It definitely, I agree. Where the first song, it feels like she's still mired in that sadness, and the second one is she's triumphed over it and is reflecting.
Yeah, exactly.
So
crazy.
Yeah,
great video.
Great video. Again, shout out to him. Go check it out. But
let us know if you want us to hit the Steely Dan one for sure.
Yeah, and then maybe what other demos and regular songs to maybe take a look at. Maybe make a similar video and look at the two. Yep. Either way, really cool, and we'll catch you next one.